What's up, YouTube? This your boy, the Travel Trucker, man. We back with another video. Do me a favor. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, like this video, comment down below, man. Well, guys, we are just getting back to the house. We went to go see what's that new movie called? Warning. And we're back home now, and I had a lot of people, bro. That video I posted a couple days ago about the trucks being abandoned in Florida, man, that video is still going crazy. I can't keep up with all the comments, but I did catch this one, man. Somebody was asking me, why is the freight so bad in Florida? It's as simple as it sounds. You always hear about it, but we're going to address the obvious in this video real quick, man, because we got to lay it down. Why is the freight so bad in Florida? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Florida has always been relatively bad with freight. It hasn't been just this year. Even in good years in the industry, Florida was always terrible. People were always frowned upon about going to Florida to get freight. But Florida, trucking wise, has not been good for one thing. Florida is a consumer state. Now, one may say, well, Travel Trucker, man, you guys got all those ports. You got Port of Miami, Port of Tampa, Port of Jacksonville, Jacksport, Cape Canaveral, Port of Palm Beach, Port of Everglades. You got the Naples, whatever. But you got to understand something. A lot of people here are implants, and the demographic is different. There's not that much exporting going out. Now, only thing we really produce that's nationally consumed is sugar and oranges, but that's food and produce, and everybody doesn't do reefer or granular sugar. That's a seasonal thing. And as far as anything else, we really don't produce anything natural aside from fishing. But now, I don't know how that's going, because everybody's going farm raised now, like wild caught fish outside of the Treasure Coast of Florida. All that fish come in Florida. It doesn't leave Florida. We may export stone crab every now and then, but lobster, stone crab, sugar cane, that's really not a lot of things when you're looking at the great big picture of how big Florida is and how many people are in trucking. So you don't have enough exporting or any goods that we produce to put on trucks. And when stuff comes into the ports of Florida, if it has to leave out of the state, they put it on rail. Very rarely do you see it go strictly from port in a truck to anywhere far past Georgia or Alabama. But a lot of that stuff is rail, guys. A lot of the stuff coming in the port in Florida is also consumed by Florida because we are the tourist capital of America. If you don't know, you live under a rock. Florida is tax-free for a reason. It is tax-free because Disney World and other theme parks is pretty much Orlando. This is common knowledge. They make so much money, we are a tax-free state. Just like with Texas, they have oil and gas or whatever. That's why Texas is a tax-free state. Tennessee has commodities. They're tax-free. No state tax is what I mean. So Florida has never had state taxes. I've been alive. I don't see it happening anytime soon because of the tourism. So a lot of the stuff we get in the ports is staying right in Florida. But I mean, some people, oh, I get loads out of Florida, whatever, dude. It ain't that. It's 1 out of 10 loads that's gonna pay decent, unless you got like some type of contract when you somehow finessing them and getting overpaid for the loads. But Florida never paid really anything, even when stuff was good. Do I see anything changing? Well, yes. Well, no. Florida has a bullet train called a Brightline, and at some point they're gonna have the improvements of the rail going further. So you're going to have the bullet train going beyond Orlando. It's going to go to Jacksonville, Tallahassee, Gainesville, Ocala, and then rail's going to follow behind it. And traffic is getting to be so bad now. Production is really going to rail. If you look at what happened with Norfolk Southern and BNSF, they're taking on a lot more rail. I see a lot of people that's putting stuff on trains now, if they can't fly it. But Florida has never been, baby, right here, a freight-friendly state. So even when we're on here talking about how bad the industry is, Florida isn't really moving the needle based off what Florida's doing. Now, when you start to see trucks sitting around like we just seen up the street, that's a problem. That's what's the word, man? That's a workforce problem because people can't sustain their livelihood on trucking right now. Unless you're a company driver, owner ops really ain't making. Dude, you probably was making good money. You coasting, but you ain't making hand over fist money. It's just what it is, man. But one thing I will say, they have just came out recently about lowering the auto insurance in Florida. Commercial insurance is, well, I think between 6 to 10%. Like all the big companies, State Farm, Progressive, they all just went to court. And I think the state making them have to lower the rates because, like, okay, people are struggling. So rather than people cancel the insurance and just ride dirty, they're gonna drop the pilot. They're gonna drop the premiums because people just ride dirty out here. So when you come to a state like Florida where it's so many uninsured motorists, this to get insurance on your truck is through the roof. And that trickles into production and whatnot. So a lot of times people don't want to deal with Florida, but that's really the real reason why trucking is so bad in Florida. It's not a consumer state. An export state. It's a consumer state. So, I hope that answers the question, man. Why is Florida so bad with freight? Why is it just Florida? That's why, because we're the number one tourist capital in America, probably, anywhere outside of Japan, and we consume a lot of our stuff that comes in. So we don't really have a big exporting, network of trucking per se. But that's all, man. We're finna knock it out, and I'll see y'all on the next one.